Orlando, Orlando, oh mon Dieu, Orlando, Orlando, Orlando.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry, man. I got here late, and the house is a mess because when my wife got here, she said the house smelled like shit.
Cool, boy. Yeah.
So I'll eat later. I haven't eaten, but I'll eat later. Let's
Are you sure? Or yeah, let's do. Are you sure?
yeah, let's just do something, man, because
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. No problem. Man. Let me just let me share my screen. I logged in already, so. Can you see my screen, Lucia?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm trending like shit.
I just wanted to see. Let's see.
I was just eating some crackers, man, but aguantame. I wonder why I got so low on these things.
All
Oh,
right, let's go. Let's go with let's mix it up. Let's take from risk, time, and scope. So not just one, but the three of them.
all right, then do 20 questions, no?
Yeah, we can do 20. I don't know if I can choose three. I don't think so. Crap.
You can't do like alt click or control click and it selects.
That's what I was trying to do. Control click. You know what? Let's do one. Let's see. Let's do something. Let's do all. And let's do 20. It's gonna be more like okay.
Oh man, it's gonna be a bad night. I can tell.
$24 minutes.
The team of engineers is reviewing the architecture diagram for a new ERP system being deployed at a large accounting firm. The engineers are discussing the impact of the failure of each node in the diagram on overall availability of the final product. The intent of the discussion is to minimize the likelihood of failure and the effects of any failure. What is this called? I think it's the third one. If you hear me clear my throat, porque my wife poured chlorine on the bathroom that's connected to where I'm at, so I can smell the chlorine. So.
Oh, okay.
Bill is managing. Sí, no, esto va a ser de madre hoy por la noche in the Ballard House. Bill is managing a healthcare software development project using state-of-the-art technology. Stakeholder management is crucial for the success of this project. Stakeholder involvement and influence are significant on this project. During which of the following project stages will stakeholder management be most challenging for Bill? Man, I remember this fucking question. Early during the project execution, towards the end of the project execution, towards the closure of the project, halfway through the project execution. I think I will say halfway through the project execution. I think that was the answer. Because the stakeholders will be heavily involved during execution. So you have been asked, most of the stakeholders, you have been asked to determine the logical relationships, leads, and lags. You know, I haven't looked at this in a while. For the activities that make up a project, what would be the best technique to use? You have been asked to determine the logical relationships, leads, and lags for the activities that make up a project. What would be the best technique to use? Resource smoothing, critical path method, What if scenario, the critical path method, I think. I haven't looked at that. I gotta go review that. Shit.
Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted to do the whole thing. So
The managed stakeholders engagement process is a very important project management process. The managed stakeholder engagement process is a very important project management process. An ineffective effort in this process can sabotage the whole project. Which of the following is the key benefit of this process? It makes the managed communications process redundant. It produces the stakeholders management plan. It increases support and minimizes resistance from stakeholders. I'll say the benefit is the third. I got to read these things carefully because I always make the mistake of reading and interpreting. Three strategies that typically deal with negative risk or threats are enhance, share, accept, transfer, exploit, accept, avoid, transfer, and exploit, avoid, transfer, mitigate. I would select the last one because I think there's two of them that ahí que no son que bullshit. Anyway, which of the following is not a risk diagramming technique? Aquí no estamos con esta mierda. Influence diagrams, control charts, cause and effect diagrams, system flow charts. Which of the following is not a risk diagramming technique? I will say control charts. You're in a meeting with your senior manager who has been helping you to organize and manage a team of IT people from diverse backgrounds. While you are discussing the creativity and breakthrough performance your team is demonstrating now, your senior manager indicates that your team has moved from the storming to the performing stage. Which of the following describes the characteristics of the performing stage? In the performing stage, the team completes the work and disbands as a project team. In the performing stage, the team function as a well-organized unit and resolve issues effectively. In the performing stage, the team members are not collaborative. In the performing stage, the team starts to work together and adjust their behavior. It's not 1 and 3 for sure. So the team functions as a well-organized. You are in a meeting with senior manager who has been helping you to organize and manage where you are discussing the creativity and breakthrough performance your team is demonstrating now. Your senior manager indicates that your team has moved from the storming to the performing stage. Which of the following is going to? I will say number 2. What is recommended method for controlling change within a project? Have only the project manager able to initiate change? Have each change approved or rejected through a formal control process? Allow each project member, ultimate control? Nah. Free scope? Allow absolutely no. It's obviously the have each change approved or rejected through a formal change control process. A project manager has scheduled technical training for his or her project team members to increase their skills. During which of the following process will this training be delivered to the team members? Perform quality assurance, acquire project team, develop project team, plan human resource management. You want to do that before you enter. Está en el pinbook, me pinga en las questions, o esta gente. you generally want to do your training for the technical guys before they start execution, and for the business guys before they start testing. So aquí esto es technical. So it's not quality assurance, that's after the fact. I guess it's there's during which of the following processes: plan human resource management.
Okay.
The managed communications process belongs to which of the following process groups: planning, monitoring, controlling, closing, executing. The managed communications process belongs to which of the following process groups? I would think it's monitoring and controlling. That's, wait, hold on. See, this is where I get stuck. Is that when you're actually managing the communications, or is that when you're...
Yeah, when you're actually managing it. And the key word there is action. I'm not going to say anything else.
The key word is action. Where do you see action? The managed communications process belongs to which of the following process groups? You said the key word is action?
Mm-hmm.
Where's action?
Well, you have to interpret that. I mean...
Oh, you're talking about interpreting. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, see, okay, this is where I need to learn more detail. To me, monitoring and control goes covers several other areas, right? Obviously, you're probably managing a lot of communications through executing. Bro, déjalo así. Yeah, but I'll go to the next one. Wait, are you reading the book? I hear you flipping pages.
No, just to have them handy here for the if there's any formulas or anything. But,
yeah. All right, dale ahí. Coño, I didn't review the formulas. Fuck. But your customer has just called and said they must have the final project schedule 3 weeks earlier than they had previously stated. You have not yet completed WBS, so you ask a colleague for advice as how to proceed. Your colleague advises you to forget about finishing the WBS and ask the team to provide estimates based on past projects and add those estimates together to come up with a date. What should you do? Advise the customer that the shortened delivery time could significantly impact the accuracy of both the cost and the scheduled project, then create a WBS and ask the team to provide analogous estimates of both timing and reserve required. Create the schedule based on this. Create a WBS and ask the team to provide analogous whatever. Add the project. Follow the cog. I would think it's the first one. A project manager feels the need of updating one of the project supplier contracts to meet the current needs of the project. However, before any change can be requested, the project manager must know the right process to incorporate a change in this specific contract. What should he do? Issue a change request and get it approved through integrated change control process? Update the project procurement management plan? Review the change control procedure as documented in the contract itself?
bless you.
Thank you. Ah, mi madre. Review alternate Alternative dispute resolution procedures. Like a project manager feels the need of updating one of the project supplier contracts to meet the current needs of the project. However, before any change can be requested, the project manager must know the right process to incorporate a change to specific contract. Well, he's got to look at the contract change control process. That's you got to look at that before you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it's that one. Review the change control procedures, document the contract itself. Good. Stay like that.
I'm letting you do the drive, man.
Due to the
I'm not being a VA. I'm not being a VA.
due to the unexpected release of a similar product from a competitor, the Widgets International executive team has stepped up the pressure on the product team to release the widget product 3 months earlier. The project manager uses what technique to shorten the due to the unexpected release of a similar product from a competitor, the Widgets International executive team has stepped up the pressure on the product team to release the widget product 3 months earlier. Poof. The project manager uses what technique to shorten the schedule but maintain the project scope? Schedule compression, rolling wave planning, schedule network analysis, schedule management planning. Schedule compression. A project can be authorized by any of the following except project manager, the PMO, sponsor, the portfolio steering committee. A project can be authorized by any of the following except a project manager can authorize a project. That's really I would say that the project manager. Or a project can be authorized by any, oh yeah, except. Yeah. A project manager is estimating the project duration and finds that the only information available to him is a previous project that was quite different from the current one. However, some portions of the previous project were similar to the current one. Which of the following tools is the project manager likely to use? Analogous estimating, project evaluation, 3.0. It's the first one, analogous estimating. You're negotiating a contract with a seller, you would prefer a fixed price type of contract. The seller uses a different terminology for fixed price type of contract. He is most likely referring to it as a cost plus fixed fee contract, a time and material, no, it's not time and material, lump sum contract, cost plus fee contract. I would say cost plus fixed fee contract. Negative risk can either be avoided Which of the following is a tool or technique of the develop project team process? Organizational charts, collocation, acquisition, conflict management. Which of the following is a tool or technique of the development project team process? Develop project. Organizational charts. How can changes be made to a project management plan once it has been baselined by the project manager? By generating a change request and having it approved through the perform integrated change control process. This is typically done by using a version control system. The project manager creates a new version with a change. This is done by maintaining a revision history log. A project manager the plan cannot be changed. That'll be the first one. What the hell was that?
Oh, that was my phone. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I ran out of time or something.
No. No, you have the timer here.
Yeah, I know. That's why, but I wasn't looking at it. You have just returned from the weekly change control board meeting where you presented the request changes to the employee move project. 5 changes were approved, 1 was denied. You are now updating the project management plan to incorporate the changes. In which project management process would this be done? Which project management process? So it's not planning. It's not initiation. Hey, stop pointing. I think this question me la tiraron una vez. And I know I was trying to pick between the two and I picked the wrong one. Direct and manage the project. And you explained it and I said, yeah, that makes sense. Direct and manage project work. Monitor and control. I'll say the first one. Watch me miss that one, man. Voy a cagarme en la mierda.
Oh, you got 15 more.
No, I thought I was going to do better than that. Let me see. Yeah, let's see the ones I missed. Like, area I missed. Communications manager. I didn't get one right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there were no questions on that.
Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, the first one, FMEA, you got it right. The second one is going to be challenging at the beginning. Usually it's at the beginning.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the most challenging at the beginning, yeah. That's a critical path. Yeah, avoid transfer and mitigate. That's what you do with a negative risk. Control chart, yes. Is the performing? Yes. That's forming, storming, norming, excuse me. Forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Yeah. So yes, that's okay. Yeah, training is done when you develop the project team. The technical training.
You know what happened on this one? I thought I was getting fucking smarter than that. I thought about the development project team, and then I for some reason I focus on the work processes.
Mm.
And for some reason, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And this is where I was telling you, action. Action means executing, doing something. So it's manage. Whenever you see manage, is going to be part of executing. Whenever you see that, manage is part of executing always in any of the processes. So that's it's part of that process group.
Yeah, I got the last one right. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I got it wrong the previous time.
Yep, you got that right. You got that right. This was a tough question. So you got it right with the advise the customer. Yes, that this is going to be, and then use analogous estimates. So review the change control procedure. That is correct. That's what you do. You need to know the right process. Then you got to review it. Yep. Schedule compression. Absolutely. That's how it's done. Yeah, the project manager cannot authorize the project. Mm-hmm.
See, sometimes I read these questions and I think the answer is obvious, and then I think they're trying to trick me, so I overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
That one I knew. Esta fue algo que tú me explicaste antes about analogous.
Good. So yep.
Yeah, I did. I do learn every once in a while something.
Yeah. I was gonna say the fixed price. It doesn't change. It's a fixed price regardless.
Yeah,
so it's a lump sum.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I was thinking of lump sum, but I thought that I had a question that was similar to this. And this is where I overthink it. It was similar to this, and it was the cost plus fixed fee contract, but obviously it wasn't the same question. But yeah, lump sum is fixed. So
yeah,
fuck, I'm an idiot.
No, it's all right. It's all right. This is where we wanna do this stuff, like
you can agree with me, man. You can say, yeah, you are.
No, you get 15 out of, but I like that. I mean, you're trying to get. I mean, you pass the test, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, but everybody tells me I should be passing it at 80%. I don't know if I'm going to reach that.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
La gente que trabaja, todo el mundo me dice, oh, when I passed the PMI test, it was I kept doing tests until I got 80% consistently. Good for you.
Yeah.
People are full of shit, man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't doing 80% consistently. I mean, that's a standard. But when I felt ready, I mean, they're just giving you a BS. Did your coworker take it already? The one that was?
Yeah, they took it years ago. They say he took it I think there were less questions or some shit. Took it like whatever, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, some shit.
Yeah, but what about the other one that was taking that had to take it? But
the girl?
Not the girl. I think there was another guy that was.
Oh, that guy? No, he hasn't taken it.
Oh, he hasn't taken it yet.
No,
okay.
I don't know what he's doing. But,
yeah, it's all right. People,
collocation. You explain to me the collocation eso.
Well, yeah, collocation is having the team in different geographical locations. Yeah.
I guess that's a tool
so that's not developing. That's developing the team. I mean that's okay, we can go over it. that'll be human resource management. Hold on just a second. I want to give you the right text answer, but it's basically when you're developing your team, you can have them in different geographical locations. So that's okay. I found it here. Yes,
Yeah, it's when they're
it's to give you the actual, and that's what it is. To give you the actual textbook answer, it's um, it's also referred as type matrix and involve placing many. Actually, is I take that back. Is putting them most of the active project team members in the same location. That's co-location. Yeah, it's not in different, the same location. Yeah,
in the same location as co-location.
yeah, in the same location is co-location. They like when they put it in that, the war room. Sometimes you use that. So yeah, that's what it is. So.
Oye, una pregunta afuera de esto.
Uh-huh.
The type of organizations is functional, matrix, and projectized. But a matrix, a weak, strong, and what's the middle one? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, balanced.
Balanced.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. That's yeah, that's part of the.
Okay. I was eating me up earlier today, and I didn't verify it. I said, man, what's the middle one? I said, well, yeah, balanced. Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's balanced. So you have weak, balanced, and strong.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And weak is more like functional.
Weak is, yeah, it's more like functional. Yes.
More like projectized.
And strong is more like projectized, because that is correct.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bull. I'm not that much of an idiot.
Oh,
wait, la elección en Venezuela, eh? Your brother must be happy as shit.
Yeah, we're really surprised with that.
How are your parents taking it?
Oh, they're very happy with it. They're very happy with that.
But they're not going back, right?
No, because I mean, even with that, it's gonna take a few years for anybody to see any major changes, So, and yeah, no, they're it's still gonna take a few years, So and things are not. I mean, it's not over yet. I mean, these people, they're still in power, and things are still in turmoil. But it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a major change. That's what it is. Finally, there's some changes that are going to start, hopefully, because they need it. They've been under that almost 20 years now. So it's really bad. Yeah. But at least people have hope now. But anyways, all right. Do you want to take another one, or you want to take a little break?
Oh, let's take another one, bro.
Okay.
Well,
you want to do 20 again, or
whatever you want?
Yeah, let's do 20.
Yeah, whatever you want. You're the man. You're the boss. Oh yeah, I didn't take the pain pill today. Y estoy a millón. You can tell my body the pain pill was making me a little tired, Pero me quitó el dolor, bro.
That's a good thing, man. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as. Let's do more.
Oof. Hopefully I can do well on this one too. Different types of contracts are appropriate for different types of purchases. Which of these is not one of the three broad categories of contracts? Cost reimbursements, time and material, fixed price or lump sum, fixed assessment. Well, we know the second and third are. The last one, fixed assessment. You are reviewing the procurement statement of work for a fixed priced road construction contract. You notice that there are many more bulldozers specified in the contract than have been in use on the project. When questioned about it, the vendor says that the additional bulldozers were added as a reserve because the scope of the work was not complete when the contract was signed. Who is at fault? The procurement team? No one. The project manager? The vendor? No one. Let me think this through a second.
Sure.
Because the procurement team, at least at the bank, so I'm going to use the bank as an example, which is a mistake. Supposedly the procurement team is the one that negotiates the contracts, although the PM should always be involved, because we know what the fuck is happening. You're reviewing the procurement statement of work for no, I'll say no one. During the development of a project stakeholder management plan, a project manager is usually dependent on the voice of the project stakeholders in order to obtain expert opinion. Which of the following is an important tool available to the project manager for gathering and organizing stakeholders' information? The Pareto charts, the control charts, the histograms, the focus group. Which of the following is an important tool available to the project manager for gathering and organizing stakeholders' information? That has to be between the Pareto charts and the histogram. And I always get this fucked up. Which of the following is an important tool? Pareto charts. I hope it's not the focus groups, then I'll really be fucking laughing. Which of the following is not a group creativity technique used in the collect requirements process? Nominal group technique, Pareto chart, mind mapping, affinity diagram. Which of the following is not a group creativity technique used in the collect requirements process? Mind mapping. I got a feeling I'm not going to get 15 out of 20 on this one. What should you do as a senior project manager if the PMP certification claimed by a recently recruited project manager does not appear in the PMI website? Advise your new recruit to complete the certification, report to PMI, report to the sponsor, request information from the new recruit. What should you do if a PMP certified claim report to PMI? There's no sponsor, there's no project, I think, in the question. Which of the following tools and techniques can be used to process work performance data during the quality control run? I'm gonna get fucked on this one. Which of the following tools and techniques can be used to process work performance data during the control plan. CPAC model. That's the way you pronounce it. But you are the project manager from a seller organization based at the customer location. One of your team members is involved in certain unacceptable activities at the location. The HR manager of the customer team organizes a meeting between you, the team member, your customer manager, and HR, wherein the team member apologizes and agrees not to repeat these activities. You should ignore the incident since the team member has agreed to it. Report this incident immediately to HR of your organization and your managers. Warn the team member. Document the issue for your project record. No, you report it to your incident. You report the incident immediately to HR of your organization and to your managers. Eso me ha pasado a mí, by the way. More than once when I had managing people on a client side. One guy for watching too much porn.
Really?
Yeah. They came up to me and said, hey, next time this guy does it, we're going to fire go. I'll take care of it. So I talked to the guy and I talked to the office and said, hey, man, this guy's fucking up. During a planning,
we're doing that for real?
Yeah, during lunch at Exxon.
But using the work computer for that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
During the planned, yes. During the planned stakeholder management process, a project manager is recommended to develop a stakeholders engagement assessment matrix. Through this analytical process, gaps between the current and desired stakeholder engagement levels can be identified. Which of the following technique can be used to identify the actions required to close these gaps? Communication, expert judgment, trust building, interpersonal skills. Which of the following techniques can be used to identify the actions required to close these gaps? Expert judgment, man. You can use expert judgment for anything. WBS structure can be created in a number of forms, except which of the following? Using the work packages as the second level of decomposition, with the project deliverables inserted at the third level. Using major deliverables at the second level of decomposition. Using phases of the project lifecycle in the second level of decomposition, with the product and project deliverables inserted at the third level. Using the subcomponents which may be developed by the organization outside the project team, such as contracted work. Using work packages as a second level decomposition with the project deliverables inserted at the third level. Using project major deliverables at the second level of decomposition. Using phases. I remember this question. Using phases of the project life cycle in the second level of decomposition, with the project and with the product and project deliverables inserted at the third level. Oh, yeah. Confused as a fucker. Using the packages at the second level.
Just remember what we've been saying about the WBS. And the lowest level of the WBS.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if the lowest level. If the lowest level. Oh my God. Oh my God. So real. I would say the second one. In your project, two dependent tasks have 3 days lag time. If the relationship between them is finished to start, the successor task may start 3 days after the predecessor is started, 3 days before the predecessor, 3 days 3 days before the predecessor's task is scheduled to finish, 3 days after the predecessor's task is the last one. Mark is managing an airport construction project. He is currently identifying his project stakeholders, and he has compiled a long list of stakeholders already. Managing expectations of every project stakeholder is not practical. What should be done in this situation? Mark is managing an airport construction project. He's currently identifying his project stakeholders and has compiled a long list of stakeholders already. Managing expectations of every stakeholder is not practical. What should be done in this situation? Project stakeholders should be prioritized based on their influence and interest. Stakeholder analysis should be outsourced. No non-key stakeholders should be dropped from the stakeholder register. Stakeholder management process should not be followed for such a project. Fuck that. The first one. You are 30 days into a 60-day project and discover that a project resource has been removed from your project. What is the best response? Fast track the project, inform the project stakeholders how this impacts the project, acquire another resource. That's the second one.
The second one?
Yeah. Configuration status accounting is an activity that is performed as part of which process?
What's that?
Oh, I'm reading this.
Oh, okay.
It's the closed project or phase, second one. When managing a large project, the project manager decided to include indirect costs as part of his cost estimates. If indirect costs are included in an estimate, which of the following is true? Indirect costs should be included at the activity level or higher levels. Indirect costs must be included at the activity level only. Indirect costs should only be included in earned value measurements and not in cost estimates. Indirect costs should not be included in cost estimates. By manager, the project manager decided to include indirect costs as part of his cost estimate. If indirect costs are included in an estimate, which of the following is true? I think it's the second one. For some reason this question sounds familiar, but Kevin is assigned to a software development project that will be started in the near future. Kevin is currently tailoring the pinbook processes to satisfy the specific needs of the project. Kevin wants to introduce a new process, identify key deliverables to an existing 6 project scope. This sounds very familiar. Although Kevin understands that project deliverables identification is already included in the pinbook scope management process, he believes that having a dedicated process will stress the importance of determining and agreeing key to whatever. The best position for the new identify key deliverables process should be between the define scope and create WBS and validate scope, plan scope management and collect requirements and define scope. Oh my God, I missed this one. And we talked about it. Identify key deliverables. I think it was the second one, create WBS and validate scope. A project manager wants to use a group decision-making technique to generate, classify, and prioritize requirements. Which of this is not a valid group decision-making technique? Dictatorship is not a group decision-making technique. Watch that be a trick question. During a project status meeting, a project manager presented sensitive information related to the project. However, this information was not intended to be available to the audience. Which of the following processes was done incorrectly, resulting in the project manager communicating sensitive information to the wrong audience? This question sounds familiar, and I picked the wrong one last time. So I think it's manage stakeholders engagement. I think it's
take your time. Take your time. Look at what was done wrong.
Yeah, during a project. Yeah, no. During a project status meeting, project manager presented sensitive information related to the project. However, this information was not intended to be available to the audience. Which of the following process was done incorrectly, resulting in the project manager communicating sensitive information to the wrong audience? Identify stakeholders. I know that last time I think I put plan communications management, and I thought it was managed stakeholder engagement, but I just put identify stakeholders. If he doesn't know who his audience is, he didn't identify it correctly. Your project team members have just started to work together and are now adjusting their work habits and behaviors to support each other. Which stage of the Tuckman ladder has your team just entered? Performing. Vendor selection and management. Vendor selection and management and documentation of lessons learned are tasks that fall under this process area. Procurement management, deliverable management, conduct, procurements, scope management. Procurement management. Linda is a project manager in charge of an online banking project. The project has completed phase 1 and is moving into the next phase of the project. For phase 2, which of the following processes must be performed first? Define scope, identify stakeholders, develop project charter, develop project management plan. Linda is the project manager in charge of an online banking system. The project has completed phase 1 and is moving into the next phase of the project. Phase 2, which of the following processes must be performed first? See, this is where me confundo. Do they develop a project charter for phase 2? Is that under the one charter? You obviously have to define the scope for phase 2. I don't feel very confident on this one, but what?
Okay. Yeah, you don't need another project charter, by the way. So it's only
Yeah,
one
no,
project charter.
I was thinking of a project I did with 2 different phases, and we only have one project charter. But we define the scope of every phase. Yep, 7 out of 20. Oh, bingo. There are a lot of stuff there, man, that didn't remember.
Yeah. Fixed assessment. That's what we're doing it. Yeah, so here when we say no one, that's usually not the response. You are at fault. I mean, when the additional bulldozers were added as reserve because the scope of work was not complete when the contract was signed. So yeah, it's you gotta make sure that the full scope is designed. So we we said earlier today, we're always the scapegoat, you know?
Yeah,
Even if it's not your fault, it is your fault.
You know what? I read it twice, and I didn't comprehend because the scope of work was not completed. You cannot you cannot do a contract until the scope is completed. Yeah, man, that was stupid.
So yeah, that was I don't want to waste any time here.
Yeah, I won't miss that one again. Yeah.
So this one, the development.
Yeah.
This was, you just gotta review that again.
Yeah, I know. Feel that when was the last thing I told you here? Watch it be focus group because
you said it. You said it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna feel stupid because I thought about it and I go, I thought one of these chart ones that I missed. Again, I outguessed myself on that one. Yeah, I don't know this one. This was a complete guess.
Yeah, group. The Pareto chart is not really to. It's not a group creativity. Just a Pareto chart is just a graphic. How do you say that? Yes, just a graphic chart where you're pairing from one group of things to another one. So it's not really,
Yeah, I
the
got
other
that.
three are technical, but this is just to review again.
I missed almost everything on the first time.
Now on this one, what should you do as senior project manager? The PMP certification claimed by a recently recruited project manager does not appear. The correct response: request more information from the new recruit. Let's see. So the project manager must bring alleged unethical activities or violations of the code of conduct to PMI's attention. False certification claims must be reported. In this case, it is not yet confirmed that the recruit has made a false claim. Try to get clarification from him. If you confirm that he has made a false claim, then you can report this to both the PMI and the sponsor. So your best answer is to request more information. So you gotta make sure. So kind of review.
Hey,
Tricky question.
stupid question. Nadie va a saber.
Yeah, stupid, but it might come up. I don't really recall something like this coming up in the test, but it could.
Coño, I got one right.
Yes, you did get this one right.
Well, the second one,
Yeah, you like you said, this is the porn guy, but really he was watching porn on a work computer.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, they say, hey, this is the second time we've caught him doing this. And I went up to the guy and I go, hey, stop watching porn during lunch. And he go, what? Tipo, pasó tremenda pena. And I didn't give a shit. I go, stop it. Because I'm going to tell you something. You do one more time, you're out of here. Not only are you out of here, but I guarantee you, you're going to be out of our company. And he said, okay, Lucio. I go, so I don't want to hear it again.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Did he get fired eventually, or?
No.
Wow.
No, he didn't watch it before.
That's horrible.
Yeah. No, he quit. He quit. Eventually, he quit. Se fue para otro trabajo.
Yeah.
Your brother and I used to call RoboCop. Porque caminaba like if he was RoboCop. Tipo, estaba loco, bro.
Watching porn at work. That's so fucked up. Got this one right. Yeah, it's expert judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what I was telling you. Yeah, the lowest level is the work package. So the second level cannot be, the composition is the lowest level. Yeah.
Deliverable and work package. God, I gotta remember that, man.
Mm-hmm. Remember, the lowest level is always a work package. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got that one right. I mean, I think you understand those really well, leads and lags. So, yeah, that should be prioritized based on their influence and interest. Inform the project stakeholder how this impacts the project. That's correct. The configuration status accounting is an activity. It's a key configuration management activity, so it's perform integrated change control. While managing a large project, project manager decided to include indirect costs as part of his cost estimate. His indirect costs are included as an estimate. Which of the following is true? So indirect costs should be included at the activity level. Yes.
Yeah, but oh man, I could have sworn.
This is a trick question. Yeah.
I could have sworn that I had answered this one. Maybe I answered it the same way. I got it wrong. I answered it once, activity level and higher level, and it said the answer was only activity level. But I guess I must have made the same mistake twice. You know?
Yeah,
I knew
it's activity or higher. Yeah, because it goes up. Think of the WBS; it rolls up. So that's how it is. So Kevin is assigned.
fuck.
Identify, yeah.
These
When
I've
you're
had
collecting,
before, and I keep missing them.
collect requirements and define scope. Yeah.
Cables that create WBS and validate scope.
Mm-hmm.
Man, but I said logic. You identify key deliverables before you fucking
Define your scope. Yep.
expand the scope. I feel like I was thinking that I go, no man, I remember I got this wrong, and I think it was this. Yeah, but I won't miss it again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, amazing, man. I made the same mistakes over and over again. And then after I answered this one, I said, I thought to myself, watch me get it wrong, because the dictatorship is what happens when you have a group of one guy dominates the group.
Yep. Castro or Chavez. Yeah, they decide for the group, but singularity means that there's only one. There's only one person in there. So yeah.
After I answered, I go, man, I got to figure out when I get it wrong, I was right. That's what it was. There's another one that I think was the previous question I had that I got wrong.
So on this one, the information was not intended to be available to the audience. So the planning was done wrong. That's what failed here. The planning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You told me the same thing. Now I remember you told me the same thing, and I missed it again. You told me lose your planning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it happened. You know, so it happened. So what went wrong? You know, then your planning was done wrong because you were following your planning. So.
Oh, give me a I guess norming.
Yeah, they start to work together, and then performing is when they're already they're already working well together. But this is when they're just starting to.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, this is something important. The process area. It's a process. So procurement management is not a process; it's a knowledge area.
Yeah.
Then the actual process is conduct procurement. So that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, everything starts with a with identifying the stakeholders. If you look at whenever and there's a reason for this. So when you remember that you're in a project, you can apply, and that's why the process groups are not project phases. You can apply all of the different process groups, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing to one phase of the project, and then apply it again on phase 2. So usually per project, not usually, all the time, you only have one project charter. So that's it. So you're not going to create a project charter for So,
Yeah,
so like they tell you here, you know, they
and you
tell you
define
there's no
scope
need
of
to
the project.
revisit. There's need to revisit the developer charter process, but there's another. The only but what you do is you apply all the process groups again, and the only other process in initiating is identify stakeholders. So you start all over again. You actually start all over again on phase two. You don't need the pre-charge, but you need to identify your stakeholders. So that's kind of how it starts the cycle. So that's the reason for this question.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you want to take a 10-minute break?
No, because I want to eat dinner. So if we're gonna do
Oh,
it,
okay.
let's do it now. And then when we're done, review.
Okay.
You know, where am I stop? Because
Yeah, let's take another test. You want to do 15 questions or
whatever you want.
oh, let's do another 20. Custom. Create. Let's actually do 15. So you can go to it. Let's take it.
That last test sucked. Successful project managers typically spend an inordinate amount of time doing what? Updating the project plan, communicating. I don't care about everything else. Communicating.
Harold Kirshner said that. Yeah.
Who?
Harold Kirshner,
Oh.
which is a very well-known author in project management. He said the project manager spends in average close to 80% of his or her time communicating.
An asphalt company is demanding a code change to a software module your team is implementing to generate safety data sheets for them. The change will add only 1 week to the critical path. As the project manager, what is your next step? Compress the schedule to make up modify the scope of the project, issue a change request. Of course, issue a change request. A contract for a vendor providing materials on your project has an 8% reward for early delivery and a 25.25 per day penalty for late delivery. You have just been notified by the supplier that they will be making the delivery 6 days late due to a major earthquake in the region. The vendor requested force majeure terms to avoid penalties. A review of his contract shows that there is no current force majeure effect. What should you do? Consult your legal department for guidance. Ask the supplier and your procurement manager to sit together and revise the contract to include the force. Deduct the penalty because there was no force majeure request on it. Do not penalize the vendor. You consult your legal department for guidance because that might be a potential problem. A project manager wants to proactively monitor a manufacturing process to determine if the quality level is within acceptable limits for that process. What tool will help with this? A project manager wants to proactively monitor a manufacturing process to determine if the quality level is within the acceptable limits for that process. What tool will help with this? not in Ishikawa. I would say a histogram. That's my favorite gram. Your manager asks you to present project schedules, budgets, and other documents from projects that you have managed to and for other companies in the past. What is the best response? Share only the project schedule, as that is the least likely document to reveal sensitive information. Remove sensitive information from the documents you think are appropriate. Respectively inform your manager that information confidential to the other companies, and that you cannot share the document. Share the document. That's the third one. As you are creating the activity list, which technique is recommended for subdividing the project into smaller components called activities? As a decomposition. Why must the validate scope process be completed when, or why must the validate scope in a project? To obtain scope documents from recent similar projects for benchmarking, to determine the scope is assigned the correct complexity level, to obtain formal acceptance of the deliverables by the customer and sponsor, to ensure the project team is all aware of the scope. The third one. Which of the following statements about project teams is incorrect? The project management team is usually a team external to the project team. Project management is a subset of the project team. For smaller projects, the project manager responsibility could be shared by the entire team. For smaller projects, the project manager responsibility can be administered solely by the project manager. The project management team is usually a team external to the project. That's the one that's incorrect, the first one. Can you go back?
Yeah. And you can in the test too, so.
Yeah, which of the following statements about project teams is it correct? The PMO is usually a team external to the project team.
So which one?
Is it correct? PMO is the project team contains the PM. He's part of PMO. This is where it's a play on words, man. Forget it. Leave it like that. Let's move on. Why, while you were on vacation, the resource acting as your backup implemented several changes on the project without proper approval? What do you do? It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
You should notify the project stakeholders immediately, and then you decide if you have to present it as a change order control to the board. The cost of running a project management office is an example of what type of cost? Reimbursable, fixed, direct, indirect. Fuck! we had this question. The cost of running a project management office is an example of what type of cost? The cost of running a project management office. Direct. You have recently taken over a troubled automatic project which has gone out of control. The project team missed many deadlines, and the stakeholders were displeased with the project's progress. As an experienced project manager, your first priority is to bring the schedule into alignment with the project plan. You would like to use what if scenario analysis to see how various activities affected the project schedule so that you can develop a plan to reduce the impact of adverse conditions on the project schedule in the future. What would be your next course of action once you determine the factors that created schedule overruns? What would be your next course of action once you determine the factors that created the schedule overruns? Prepare a resource breakdown structure to identify resources used. Update activities list to incorporate new activities into the schedule. Generate change requests for a corrective action. Develop project schedule network diagrams to determine the total slack. We'll say, shit. I don't know if I'm understanding this one correctly, but update activities list to incorporate new activities into the schedule. Oh, fuck. The Rossi chart is an example of responsibility assignments matrix. The letters R and C in Rossi stand for the third one, responsible and categorize. No clue. Which of the following is an output of the defined activity process? An output of the defined activity process. Project schedule activity diagrams. You have recently joined an organization as the procurement manager. You have just received an invoice from a contractor. Some of the items from the invoice are as follows: PV of work completed to date, 50,000. AC work completed to date, 40,000. Total cost reimbursement by the buyer to date, 35,000. If the contract between the buyer and the contractor is a CPIF contract, what is the total value payable to this contractor? Assume that the contract allows for a 10% fee over actual cost whenever CPI is greater than 1. Assume CPI is greater than 1. Let me get the other thing here. Oh, fuck. Calculator. All right. CPI. The PV of the work completed is 50K. 50K. PV. So we have the way I'm looking. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
The way I'm looking at this, over total cost, whenever CPI, right, 10% over. I was going to determine CPI to see if it was greater than 1, but it doesn't matter because there's no 0 here. So if it's 10%, contract allows 10% fee over actual cost. Assume that contract allows 10%.
You have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
What?
You only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
Yeah, no, there's only 2 questions. Yeah. 50. What is the total value payable to this contractor? Um, 55.
5,500.
Yeah. The requirements traceability metric helps in tracing all of the following except requirements to the project objectives, requirements scopes, requirements to the test strategy, requirement to project risk. The requirements traceability metric helps tracing all the following except the first one.
Oh shit.
Did it get it?
I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah, communicating. Number one, number two. You should change request. Yes. You consult your legal for guidance. That's true. Yeah, here's the control charts. I mean,
I gotta
within a
review the charts,
yeah,
man.
when you see manufacturing process, determine no, not even manufacturing process. You proactively monitor manufacturing process to determine if quality level. If you see quality level in there, usually that's related to a control chart. So that's the control charts can be used to monitor any type of output variable or process performance. Yeah, that's a control chart in
Gotta
there.
review all these shits again, man.
Hmm. Yeah, so you got that right.
I was doing okay the first 5 questions. I only have missed one. Yes. Look at that, man. I was doing great. Where did I derail? Look at that.
The first 9, you only got one wrong.
Yeah. I missed this one before.
Yeah, that's usually it's an indirect cost. You can't
Yeah. God damn it.
because it's not related to just one project, so
Yeah.
it's an indirect cost.
Fuck me.
So 10, the first 10 you only got 2 wrong. So yeah, on this one you gotta. That's why it's important, Lucio, to build up the time, because on this one I think you didn't understand properly the question. Because whether you're taking over a trouble automobile project. So try one thing that I learned, try to not to kind of get the information that we need here. So you're taking over the key here is a trouble project, which is out of control. So that tells you that is the project is in trouble. So it's out of control. So you gotta get it back on track. So they explain what's kind of happening. The project team missed deadlines. The stakeholders are displeased. So you want to get it back into alignment. So that's what you're gonna do. You would like to use a what if scenario analysis. You're doing a scenario analysis, so to see how how various factors affect the project schedule, so you can develop a plan to reduce the time of impact of adverse conditions of the project schedule in the future. So this doesn't happen again. Will be your next course of action. You have to, since it's out of whack, so you want to bring it back into alignment. Then you have to. Those are corrective actions. So you have to generate change requests,
Right.
and then bring it back to
Yeah.
normal. So yeah, I think it was the reading part that is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Sorry about that, man.
No, I mean, so there's nothing to be
I
sorry.
thought I didn't know.
Yeah, this one you were close. It's consult, but it's categorized. Yeah, it's
I
consult.
didn't
Race.
know how to be between. I didn't know if it was consult or categorized.
Yeah, race is responsible, accountable, consult, and inform, and that's for the responsibility assignment matrix. I mean the people that you the resources and your work packages of the WBS. So this is who's going to be doing this. Then this person is accountable. Then this one you can consult, and this one you can just let them know. So that's what the race is. This consult. Here is, yeah, you define your activities and then you come up, your milestones are an output. Yeah, a list of milestones.
God damn it, man.
Mhm. Remember that the only difference between an activity or a task, which is the same thing, and a milestone is that the milestone has a duration of 0. So,
Right.
but yeah, you get
Damn, man.
I don't know what you did here, but you got it right.
Like, tiré tremendo rock con mango.
500. Yep. So, and then here, yeah, is risk. I mean, the requirements traceability matrix, of course, the project objectives, the project scope, test strategy,
Yeah,
because your test cases are going to be related to that, so you can
yeah,
trace it back to requirements, but not the risk. So that's a
yeah,
separate.
yeah.
Yep.
And I got that one right, and I think in a previous test.
Most likely, yeah.
I missed
So
4
it's
the last
not
5.
really.
Wow.
No, but overall, not that bad. I mean, I think getting this is what I would like to do. Keep on getting questions for all the different
Yeah, yeah,
process groups. Yeah, I think we're at that point right now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
All right.
I'm gonna have dinner.
So hey, get some dinner and we'll be in touch, man. So
All right, see you tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow.
all right. Good night, man.
Bye, man.
Yeah. Bye bye.